Good morning.
Miss Greenlee, have you heard from Miss Harris?
I have not, but I will shoot her a message.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, not Miss Harris, Miss Acevedo.
Okay, I was about to say Jennifer's no longer on here, but I'll text Rochelle as well.
Okay, thank you. She's here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. In the 454th Judicial District Court in Medina County, Texas. Court is streaming from Kendall County via Zoom and YouTube. Are there any objections? Okay, with that, Ms. Thompson, would you please begin the announcements?
Jessica Thompson for the department.
Jerome Armidas, permanency supervisor.
Bernice Hernandez, permanency specialist.
You're muted, Ms. Acevedo.
Rochelle Acevedo, ad item for the child.
Jill Roden, Tri-County CASA.
Anyone who's not an attorney or will be giving testimony, please raise your right hand. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
We are here today for a permanency review after final order, first one. And I've reviewed the reports. We'll start with yours, Ms. Hernandez. This time, Kaden is a year old and is in a foster home in Gillespie County. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that placement safe and appropriate, meeting his needs?
Yes, it is.
Is it in his best interest to remain in that placement?
Yes,
And is he up to date on his checkups?
he is.
Permanency goal, unrelated adoption?
Yes.
And that's with this foster home?
Yes, it's a foster to adopt home.
Okay. And then whatever reasons that the other placement gave notice for, do we have to be concerned about any of those reasons in this home, or was that just with that home?
It has just been reported with that home.
Okay. I just didn't know if it was an issue with Kaden or something that was going on, or just, there. So I want to make sure we can address it if it was something that might survive that situation. Okay. And other than an ear infection, there's no other issues that we need to worry about with him, any developmental concerns or delays?
Not right now.
Okay. And the only medicine he's taking is the Zyrtec.
Yes.
Okay.
He was taking antibiotics for his ear infection as well.
Okay. What barriers, if any, exist at this time with achieving the permanency goal in this home?
I don't think there are any barriers right now. I mean, the family is very bonded to Kaden. Kaden appears very bonded to the family as well. They have all the resources that they need. They've been taking care of all his needs at this time. So I don't see any issues right now.
Requested redaction in a Heshig?
It is not, but it can be requested.
And we don't have any issues with the birth certificate or anything like that for him, do we?
I don't believe so.
Is this the least restrictive placement available?
Yes.
And since our final trial, we have not had any other family members or anyone else come forward asking to be studied?
No, we have not.
Do you believe that Belong has made reasonable efforts to achieve the permanency goal?
Yes.
Anything else you want to add besides what you've already testified to?
No, just one thing, the egg allergy. He has been working with the doctor, and the doctor did state that we could try giving him a little bit of egg products. It may have been just an allergy of some of his hygiene products that he was using at the time. So Miss Kerber has been giving him a little piece of egg. I think she started with a baked good at first, and he's doing well. We haven't seen any allergic reactions to that. So just to clarify that part.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Thompson, do you have any questions for Ms. Mendez?
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Acevedo,
No questions, Judge.
anything that you want to report?
Um, he's doing really well. He's back in a home that they used for respite. So this is an entirely new they and foster mom had been working with them. I think this was a possible long-term placement prior to actually all of this happening. So they were really sad when he actually left. So they're very happy that he's back. He is obviously a little bit bigger. He's still meeting all his milestones. He's trying to walk. I think he's been a little bit sick, and he's been on some antibiotics, but they say everything is, he's doing well. He sleeps through the night. He's teething, but he usually goes right back down. They are very excited about moving forward as quickly as possible. I think they already have, I know they do because Miss Mance had reached out to me. So they already have an adoption attorney. They're moving forward. So it's hopefully a forever home, Judge.
And we only have to, the only time issue that we're really waiting on here is the residency issue, right?
I believe so, Judge.
Okay. Is this a situation where if we get a little further down the road, we might be, it might be appropriate to talk about a waiver?
Yes, Judge. Absolutely.
Okay. Ms. Roden, anything you want to add?
I think you've heard most of it. Costa's been able to visit him in the home of the Kerbers. He's doing great there. As Miss Acevedo said, he was there previously for, I want to say, close to 2 months as respite in a previous home. So they're bonded. He's bonded to extended family and support that are there on property. So I don't see any barriers. I think that when we get the HESIG and the redacted case file, and he's been there the 6 months, we should be ready to go with an adoption.
Okay. Oh, Ms. Hernandez, one question I have. What date was he actually placed back in the Gillespie County home? Because I've got 2 different dates on the report.
He was placed on 9/23/2024.
Okay. Give me a moment while I update my system here. He's a basic level of care, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, then. For the purposes of the permanency review, after final order, court finds that the permanency goal at this time is adoption. Court finds that permanency goal is in the best interest of the child. Court finds that Kaden is up to date on all of his checkups, only receiving medication for allergies. His placement is safe and appropriate, meeting his needs and in his best interest to continue. Court finds that there are no barriers at this time to the permanency goal other than waiting the required period for the child to have been in the home to be eligible for adoption. Court finds that the child is bonded to the family and the family is bonded to the child, and that no other family members have come forward since our last hearing. And that this is the least restricted placement available. Court finds that reasonable efforts have been made by changing the placement of the child to a former foster family who is a foster adopt family and maintaining contact. I'm going to order belong to request a redaction in Heshig ASAP so we can get that ball rolling. And then I'm going to order the parties to staff this case in well, halfway between now and our next hearing is going to be in January. So let's say staff it by January the 15th. I mean, I'm sure you'll be talking before then, but I want you actually to staff it and decide whether or not it's appropriate for a waiver. I want to make sure that we have a good amount of time in this home, that everybody continues to gel before we even start that discussion. So I think January is probably the earliest I'd want to entertain it. So just by January 15th of 25, have a staffing. Our next hearing is March 11th, 2025 at 2:30. March 11th, 2025 at 2:30. If we can, for some reason, fast track this and everybody thinks it's appropriate, I don't want to set it without at least having an update so that I know what's going on, but we may or may not need that date. Anything I've failed to address?
No, you covered everything.
Okay. Thank you all for your time and your service. If nothing further, all parties are excused.
Thank you,
Judge.
Judge.
County, Texas. Court is streaming from Kendall County via Zoom and YouTube. Are there any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Thompson, would you please begin the announcements?
Jessica Thompson for the department.
Crowley Sherrod Buckner, permanency specialist for the case.
Christy Cannot, permanency supervisor for Belong.
Marco Cabrera, I represent respondent mother, Miss Shauna Thompson. She's present. We're ready. Ms. Thompson, could you unmute and state your name?
I'm Shauna Thompson. I'm Princeton's mom.
Richard Saldivar, attorney for the father, Mr. Senegal. Will you unmute and announce, please?
I'm sorry, I was having difficulties with the sound. I couldn't hear anything at all. So yeah, I'm Tyler Senegal, the father.
Anyone who's not an attorney or will be giving testimony, please raise your right hand. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We're here today for a permanency review before final order. Our last setting was the final trial, and at that setting, the parties agreed to a transitional monitored return. So I want to talk about the reports that I received, or the report that I received, and then progress with where this case is heading at this time. Ms. Sherrod Buckner, is there any Indian child heritage in this case?
No, sir.
And permanency goal at this time is still family reunification?
Yes, sir, with mother.
Okay. And concurrent goal is adoption by a relative or fictive kid adoption?
That is correct.
Child is still placed, or where is the child placed today?
With paternal grandparents in Kaden.
Okay. And that's still in Harris County?
Yes, sir.
Is it safe and appropriate, meeting the child's needs?
Yes, sir.
Is it in the child's best interest to remain in that placement?
Yes, sir.
He's up to date. Your report reflects that he's up to date on all his checkups.
Yes, sir.
And he is in therapy regularly, twice a month. And then he's also got OT and speech therapy.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that those are appropriate?
At this current time, yes, sir.
Is he making progress?
Yes, sir. In OT. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other issues with Princeton or the placement that we need to discuss today?
No, sir.
Okay. Visitation, how's it going with Miss Thompson?
At this current time, Ms. Thompson is receiving, I do believe one time a week, overnight visit. She picks him up on a Friday and then return him on a Sunday. I have been going out. They have been going really, really well. There are moments where Princeton is kind of defiant in the home, but Miss Thompson does try to redirect him and kind of talk to him and letting him know what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. She does use the timeout method related to his age. So if he does something, she might say, "Oh, okay, mommy didn't like that, so you don't like getting put in the corner." So she does use the different techniques that her and I did talk that would be appropriate when he's in the home. But those visits are going.
Okay. And the visitations of what sounds like the visitations are appropriate.
Yes, sir. For mom. Yes, sir.
And are you asking for the current visitation schedule and the plan that the parties had to continue? Or are you asking for something to change as far as visitation today?
I would like those to continue.
Okay. And is he having any visits at all with Mr. Senegal?
I did speak to Mr. Senegal. Mr. Senegal said he did meet with his son, had a visit last week. He didn't really too much go into details as to how those visits was going, but when I spoke to his mother, she did say those visits are going well when he's able to get his 2 times a month 6-hour visits in. But from Mr. Senegal, he didn't really too much give me more in depth how those visits was going.
Do you know if anyone else besides Miss Senegal has observed those visits?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
Okay. Report reflects that Ms. Thompson is in compliance.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
She has a copy of her family plan of service.
Yes, sir.
She's testing negative.
Yes, sir.
All right. And you believe that she's engaged and she's learning and making progress as far as addressing the concerns that brought us into the case?
Yes, sir.
Would it be safe to return the child home today, or are you asking for him to remain in the current placement at this time for her to continue to address the concerns in the transitional monitored return?
Yes, sir.
You are asking him to go home, or you're asking him to remain in the placement?
Asking for him to remain in a placement.
And is that because she needs to continue to work on things, or is it because of the transition schedule?
Because of the transactional schedule. And then I'm knowing that mom just recently started getting unsupervised visit. I would like to see a little bit more of those if possible.
And your report reflects that Mr. Senegal is not in compliance?
Yes, sir.
Does he have a copy of his family plan of service?
Yes, sir.
I did note in the report that he has no-showed to, I think, either the last 5 or 6 drug tests that he was supposed to take. And that was coming off of the positives we had in July. In addition to addressing that, what other concerns do you believe Mr. Senegal needs to address in order to get into compliance?
He also needs to engage in individual counseling as well. And then I would like for him to do based on his Ozark, because we did get that schedule. Once that is performing, we have those recommendations. I would like for him to engage in those services as well.
Do you believe it's in the child's best interest for him to continue visiting with Mr. Senegal at this time?
No, sir.
And why is that?
I know that Mr. Tyler Senegal recently also tested positive at his last drug screening, I do believe last week, October like 15th or 18th. That is a major concern due to his levels. I know we're not there to actually see his physical appearance, things like that, but that is concerning in the event that Mr. Senegal could possibly be under the influence while visiting with Princeton.
So at this time, it's your testimony that neither parent has fully addressed concerns. It's not safe to return the child to either parent today, and he needs to remain in the temporary managing conservatorship of belong.
That is correct, not at this moment.
Do you have any other requests for the court today?
No, sir.
Ms. Thompson, any questions for Ms. Sherrod Buckner?
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Cabrera?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Just to clarify, where are we in the visitation plan? Are we just gonna start beginning overnights?
We have already started overnights.
Okay. How many overnights has she had?
I do believe 5.
Okay. So when are we transitioning to moving her back in the home?
Moving him back into the home, Princeton?
Oh, I'm sorry. Moving him back in. Yes, I'm sorry.
So I would like Ms. Thompson to continue with those monitor return visits at least up until right before Thanksgiving, if possible, because I am actually going out to the home and seeing how he does transitioning back into the home. Because I did express to Ms. Thompson, if we're able to continue those visits and they're going well, I would like to have him placed before Thanksgiving. So I would say just maybe another 2 to 3 weeks if possible.
Okay. When is the planned date for the child to be returned back home? How many more visits do we need for that?
Of the overnight visits?
Correct.
Right. So I would say,
as per the agreement.
so technically per the agreement, Ms. Thompson, I do believe we'll have 1 more week, but I am asking to extend that as well for the overnight visits. So that would actually give us like 3 more for the overnight visits, and then we can place.
Okay. So just to be clear, what you're asking right now is to break from that agreement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I know you want to see more, but what reason do you have to want to break from the agreement that the judge signed?
So at this current time, I know again, she just started with those overnight visits. So that's also given me time to come out, talk to her, talk to Princeton, and then I'm able to observe those visits as well. I know I did talk to Ms. Thompson, which she was okay with, making sure she got those extra weeks and we can place before Thanksgiving.
Okay. But your testimony is that she's had 5 already, correct?
Let me double check.
Because
I do believe they started. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, you just answered. Go ahead. How many?
Yes, I do believe it's 5. Because I do believe she started October 9th. I do believe. I'll have to double check my notes.
October 9th?
Let me see.
Or September 9th?
So October 4th. October 4th was the actual very first overnight visit. I had to look
Oh, okay. You're talking
Yes,
about
sir.
the overnight. Okay. So she did, I'm sorry, Mr. Cabrera, but I'm trying to make sure I'm following too. She did the 3 weeks of 8 hours unsupervised.
Yes.
And then she had her first overnight on October 4th.
That is correct. Where it went
Okay.
from Saturday to Sunday. And then now we just recently started doing the Friday to Saturday to give her that whole weekend. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Cabrera. Go ahead.
Okay. So, okay. But and as you testify, those visits are going appropriately?
Yes, sir. For the ones that I have seen coming, because I do show up on a Saturday because they do get back very late. They're going okay for the most part. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, these visits, the child has to be transported from, is it Katie to where?
Divine.
To Divine. How long is that trip?
Depending on traffic, it could be between maybe 3 hours to 4 hours.
Okay. And has the child expressed to you any tiredness or unwillingness to continue to make that drive?
Not the child per se, but the caregivers. Yes, sir.
That it's hard on the child?
Yes.
Okay. No, the grandparents are also taking a trip to, is it Mexico?
Yes, sir. No.
Okay.
Well, Cabo. Yes, sir.
Okay. And so Ms. Thompson has expressed to you that she's okay with Princeton going on the trip?
Yes, sir. I did express to Ms. Thompson we will also need the approval from Princeton's attorney as well.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Your Honor, that's all I have. As you can imagine, I do have some comments once questioning is over.
Thank you, Mr. Cabrera. Mr. Saldivar.
Yes. What do you want to see from Mr. Senegal to get back on track?
So I would like for Mr. Senegal to engage in an Ozark assessment. But per his last level, I would like to speak to Mr. Senegal about inpatient treatment because the levels are concerning. And then we will also like for him to engage in NA classes, also obtain a sponsor that will be able to hold him accountable, so he can attend those NA classes as well. I would also like for him to engage in individual counseling. This will also help him to speak with the therapist regarding his mental health. And then that'll also allow him to come up with those coping skills, to kind of aid him in moments where he felt like he has a moment that he could possibly relapse.
Okay. And how are his visits going with the child?
According to Mr. Senegal, like I said, he did say he had a visit last week. He did say, it went really well, but he didn't never go into details of like, what did they do? Any activities that they did, things like that. I usually hear mostly from the grandmother. The grandmother did not express any concerns during the visit. She just said that Princeton likes meeting with his dad, where I do believe he has a motorcycle, where they're about motorcycles and his bikes and things like that.
Okay. And I mean, does Mr. Senegal understand that the department has issues with these concerning drug tests?
Yes.
Okay. And has he been able to let mom thrive in her service plan and separate himself from mom?
I would believe so.
Okay. And right now, where is he currently living?
From my understanding, when I spoke to him, he did move, but I did not receive an updated address from my last location. It is Katie.
Okay. and that's and mom's living where's she living again?
Divine.
Okay, so they're about 3 or 4 hours apart. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the new baby, I know it's not part of this suit. Any concerns with them?
With the new baby?
Yeah, the new baby. Yes.
No, sir.
Okay. Pass the witness, Judge.
I want to ask a question before I hand it off to Ms. Acosta. Ms. Sherrod Buckner, you mentioned that you might want Mr. Senegal to attend rehab based on the results of the OSAR because of these positive drug tests, correct?
No, I would like for him to do inpatient based on his last drug test due to his inpatient.
I don't know, and you'll have to forgive me, but I can't remember if you were on this case. Have you been on this case since the beginning, or did you come in later?
Since the beginning.
Okay, so then you are aware that he's already been to rehab once.
Yes.
Okay. And you think that it would be beneficial for the court to order him back again?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Ms. Acosta.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Shard-Buckner, do you know if the parents are still in contact with each other?
Per my knowledge, yes.
Okay, is anything about their contact concerning?
No, ma'am, not at this current time.
Okay, is Tyler seeing either of the children?
Per my knowledge, he's only seeing Princeton in his supervised visits, and then if he does see Nevaeh, it is in the presence of the grandmother.
Okay. With regard to Ms. Thompson, is she keeping up with her relapse prevention plan?
Yes, ma'am.
And how is she keeping up with that?
She is attending NAA meetings. She does that weekly, and then she's also talking to her sponsor when she needs someone to talk to, because I know when I spoke to Ms. Thompson, that difficulty comes from like the relationship aspect. And then she also talked to her MHDD case manager about that as well. So she's using a lot of like her service provider and community resource in that aspect.
All right. And since having Princeton back in the home more often, has she needed to reach out to those people more often?
Yes.
Okay. And have you received any reports from either of those providers regarding Ms. Thompson's progress?
Just the individual counselor, but I know with her sponsor, they're not allowed to. So I just kind of base that off Ms. Thompson when she does let me know if she spoke to her sponsor. And then I do believe her individual counselor does contact me as well.
Have you received updated notes from her counselor?
I do believe, not for this month, but I did for last month because they usually don't send them towards the end of the month.
Okay. And do you believe that given the challenges with having Princeton reintegrated into the home and her, maintaining her stability, that having those extra weekends would be beneficial before placing?
I want to make sure I understand the question. Are you asking that?
I'll rephrase it.
Okay.
I'll rephrase it. Do you think that are you requesting that we deviate from the original agreement to have additional weekend visits for Ms. Thompson so that she can maintain her stability in knowing who to reach out to when she's having, when she's addressing her relapse prevention plan?
Yes.
Okay. So it's important that she maintain her sobriety and continue to reach out to these people as she's integrating Princeton back into the home, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, have the parents continued doing couples counseling?
I do believe the last time I did speak to the individual counselor, they have continued with the couples counseling, but it's mainly basically family therapy, not couples counseling.
Okay. And will you be getting notes with regard to the family therapy?
Yes, the family therapist did reach out to me this morning, and there are writing those reports up for me as we speak.
Okay. With regard to Princeton's therapies, has Ms. Thompson identified providers in her area so that those therapies can continue?
Yes. Only thing is that she is just not able to start because technically placement is not at home.
Okay, but she has provided you the names and information of all of those providers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you think that it's important that if and when Princeton is placed with Ms. Thompson, that those therapies be monitored for a little while to ensure that they're in place and that he's receiving everything that he needs if and when he's placed back with mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And with regard to Mr. Senegal, do you think that it would be possibly important to have a mediation to address just his role in the child's life moving forward, given his relapse?
That could be possible. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And just to verify, are there current orders there are current orders with regard to Mr. Senegal and Princeton, correct? There's a child support order out there somewhere.
I do believe so. Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. And to your knowledge, does it address conservatorship?
I'm not aware.
Okay. But if it does, it would be important to look at that again in mediation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
We're about out of time. Yeah, anything else from the department?
No, Your Honor. Oh, one thing, Ms. Stroud-Brockner, with respect to the Cabo trip, do you think the child should be placed after the trip?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. And when is the trip with his grandparents?
That'll be November 8th through the 13th.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything from anyone else before I hear from Ms. Acosta?
No.
All right. Ms. Thompson, I see your hand up. I don't know what it
Ms.
is.
Thompson, I'll address it with you. I apologize, Judge. I'll address it with you later.
Okay, thank you. Okay, for the purposes of well, actually, let me stop for a second because I do have a question before I hear from Ms. Acosta. Mr. Senegal, can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is your plan?
This is what I want to tell you. I have been in the process of getting medication, and I just started a new medication. I went to the neurologist for my cyst on my brain.
Well, hang on just a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
No, I'm not. I know you. I'm not trying to bring nothing else, but I was in the hospital.
No, I don't want to diminish what it is you're saying, but we only have a limited period of time. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I just want you to answer the question that I'm asking. Don't give me any other information because we don't have time for it right now.
Yes, sir.
What's your plan for your life?
My plan for my life is to handle up and make sure that I have a steady job and take care of my responsibilities, and also be in my family's life, my son and my daughter's life. And I want to change everything I need to do. If I have to do, I'll go to rehab, whatever. I'm willing to do anything I have to do.
So do you recognize that you have a problem using drugs?
I recognize that I have made mistakes with the self-medicating and a lot of issues that I have.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. I'm being real with you, Mr. Senegal. I want you to be real with me. Do you recognize that you have a problem using drugs?
I recognize
yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you recognize that, then you can beat this.
Yes, sir.
And you can do the things that you just told me you wanted to do. But if you don't recognize that, if you deny it, you can't beat this because it's just going to continue to eat away at your life. I don't want to see that happen to you. And I don't want to see your child grow up without an active father in his life. Whatever's going on between you and Miss Thompson, I don't know what it is. And that's, to a certain point, it ceases to be my business. But as it pertains to the child, it is my business. And so if there's any kind of co-parenting that's going to happen, if there's any kind of relationship between the two of you that's going to happen, it's only going to work if you're both clean and you're both in compliance. And right now you're not. Now, I don't know, maybe you're not in a relationship at all. Maybe there's nothing going on. And in that case, Miss Thompson is eventually going to regain custody of her son, and you're not going to be a part of that if you're still using. And that is sad to me. We have been in this case for almost 2 years. We're in the second extension, and you're still testing positive. You have a problem, and I want you to get help with it because I want your child to have a father, and I want you to know what it's like to raise your children without drugs clouding your judgment and ruining your life. I'm going to send you back to rehab because I care. I really want to see you get help. I really, truly do.
I'm willing to do it. Anything I have to do, however long, whatever I need to do, I'm going to do, no matter what.
Okay, then that's what we're going to do. All right. And I think I might have told you this at the beginning of this case. I usually tell people who have drug issues, if you work on it and you truly put all your effort into trying to get a hold of that and wrangle it, and you stay with it, I'll be your biggest supporter. But if you're not doing those things, then I have no choice but to leave you behind because I've got to do what's best for the child.
But I don't want to be left behind. I want to be there for my kids, and I would do whatever I do, man. And I'm going to make a major 180, and I'm going to take care of my.
Well, that's what it's going to take. You said it, a 180.
Yes, sir.
That's your only choice
Yes,
at
sir.
this point. There's no other alternative.
I got to go to rehab. I'm thankful for that, because if that's the one thing that's going to bring me into a person in a place that I need to be, I'm okay. I'm going to do whatever I have to do.
All right, I'm going to make some orders now. I'm going to make some orders that's going to address this.
I know you have some orders to make. If I could just address real quick.
I was going to hear from Ms. Acosta, so go ahead, Mr. Cabrera, and then I'll hear from her.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did have a speech teed up about following court's orders and about acting in good faith and about filing motions to modify if they intend to deviate from court orders. But let's just pretend I said all that, and I'm going to ask the court if they could just reiterate to the department to follow the court's order to place with her after this next visit. Testimony from the court was that visits were going well and mom is compliant.
The only question I have about that is this trip. Is it going to be, and you tell me, Mr. Cabrera, you tell me what you know. Is it going to be truly onerous on the child and the grandparents for the child to be placed at home and then go on this trip? Is the trip not going to happen for the child if he's placed with mom? What's the deal with that?
Miss Thompson, I'll take care of it.
Put your hands down.
I'll take care of it. So I've had numerous conversations with mom about this. It's difficult on mom, and mom's relayed to me that it's difficult on the child. What mom has said is whatever is easiest on the child, even if that means maybe skipping this next trip and then this next visit and then going on the trip and then placing with her afterwards. The visit was part of the plan, and the department does need to see those. So if the department wants to have it to be able to supervise it, to observe it, then she's good with that. But she's recognizing that the trip from Katie to Divine is wearing on the child. So what she really wanted to get at was, it's a lot of driving. Whatever the child thinks best, whatever they can work out, she would be happy with.
So if I were to order, the child could go on the trip, but we need to follow the court's order, mom would be okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Acosta?
Your Honor, it sounds like mom's doing everything that she needs to. My concern is that she has a small infant at home and she's needed to reach out more to her community of relapse prevention professionals during the transition. And I don't want that to be something that I don't want to sabotage Princeton going home. So I'm requesting that. I know that we had the order previously, but I'm asking that the recommended extra weekends that Ms. Sherrod-Buckner mentioned prior to placing Princeton move forward, just so that she has that extra time to, I guess, get used to having him consistently before we place him. I think it would only be 2 extra weekends. Thanksgiving's not that far away. We're at the end of October. And that would be my only request, Judge. I understand going back and forth is difficult for the child. I don't think anyone likes being in the car for 3 hours, especially not a child. But I want to make sure again that mom is not being put in a position where she's not going to be reaching out to her rehab professionals and she's going to end up relapsing. I want to give her that transition period. And I would request mediation. Just, I don't recall exactly what their OAG order says. And if we do need to address Mr. Senegal's conservatorship, then that would need to be done prior to this case being resolved.
Thank you, Mr. Costa. All right, I'm about out of time on this. I have Ms. Thompson. I'm going to ask you just a couple questions. Answer what I'm asking you. Don't give me any other information, and don't ask me any other questions. Okay, I want to get some information from you, but you've got to help me out here. You're going to have any problems utilizing community resources?
No.
Do you understand that Princeton coming home with this baby you have at home and all of this stuff, you understand how much this is going to stress you out, right?
Yes, I'm very aware of scheduling, OT, therapy, school, after school daycare, my work schedule. I'm very prepared.
Do you have coping mechanisms in place when you get stressed out? Is there somebody you can call and talk to? Or do you have tools that you know that you're ready to use?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know that the absolute last thing you can do is anything that's going to take you down a road back where we came from.
I know that that's no longer an option in my new way of living.
Okay. Well, I'm really proud of you for the progress that you've made. You've done a great job, and I know you've got a lot going on at home, but there's still work to do, and I believe that you can do it. Do you believe that you can do it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. That's the most important thing. Mr. Senegal continues to use, and he doesn't follow my order that I'm about to make. You know what you need to do in that situation?
Yes, sir.
You going to have any problem doing that?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. For the purposes of the permanency review before final order, the court finds there's no Indian child heritage in this suit. Court finds that permanency goal of family reunification with the mother, Ms. Thompson, is in the best interest of the child. Court finds that the concurrent goal is fictive kin adoption. The court finds the current placement in Harris County is safe, appropriate, meeting Princeton's needs, and in his best interest to remain there at this time. Court finds that he's up to date on his medical, dental, and vision, and that he's receiving therapy and that therapy is appropriate. Court finds that he is not receiving any psychotropic medication. Court finds that mother's visitation is appropriate and that she is engaging and redirecting as appropriate, which is an issue that we had before. So I'm glad to hear that that's getting better. Court finds that mom is in compliance with her family plan of service. She has a copy of it. She's addressing concerns and making progress. Court finds that Mr. Senegal is not in compliance. He has a copy of his family plan of service. He has had multiple no-shows for drug tests, and he needs to engage in individual counseling. But this drug issue is the big one, and I already told you, Mr. Senegal, I'm ordering you to go to rehab, inpatient rehab, as soon as a bed is available. So, Ms. Sherrod Buckner, let's find one. Let's find one for him. Mr. Senegal, this order, what I realize is that when I make this order, I am employing community resources and other resources to get you this help. And so I hope that I'm not wasting those resources. I hope that you're serious when you tell me that you're going to do these things. I hope for your son's sake, for your other child's sake, for your own sake, for your own life, that you take this seriously and that you do it. All right. Court finds that it's in the best interest of the child for the parties to go to mediation. And here's what I'm going to do on this visitation thing. I see the merit in what the department is requesting or Belong is requesting. I see the merit in that. But the thing is, the parties had an agreement, and Mr. Cabrera is exactly right. There's no motion to modify that agreement or set it aside. There was no notice of any of that. And if this court just starts changing agreements without proper protocol followed, legal procedure followed, then any parent that comes in front of this court, any party that comes in front of this court has no ability to know whether their agreement is going to be honored. And there's been no evidence put forward today that suggests that staying with that agreement, even if there had been notice, that it's in the best interest of the child to alter it. That was the agreement of the parties. The schedule has been stuck with, and so that's what we're going to do. I'm not modifying it. We're going to stay with the original agreement, but I'm also going to order that the child gets to go on the trip with their grandparents. So that's the order as far as that goes. That's not to say that I don't understand what Ms. Sherrod Buckner and Ms. Acosta are concerned about. I do. So what that means for you, Ms. Thompson, is that you better make sure that, you know, you're on top of all this stuff and you're on your best behavior. I'm ordering you to use community resources as they're available to you. I'm making that in order. I don't want you to try to go it alone. Ms. Acosta is right. You know, would it just be a few weeks? Yes, but there was an agreement and the court made it an order, so I'm going to honor that. So that means that you need to be ready, willing, and able to do whatever it needs, what you need to do, whatever needs to happen in order to make this transition as smooth as possible for Princeton. Our next hearing, which is going to be a final trial, is set for December the 10th, 2024 at 1:30. December 10th, 2024 at 1:30. Again, you need to go to mediation prior to that. If I've got somewhere I've got to be, so if there's any clarification needed, please email Ms. Greenlee and I will get the clarification to you. Ms. Thompson, at this time, is there anything I failed to address?
No, Your Honor, you covered everything.
Okay. The only other thing I need to do is admonish both the parents, and I know you've heard it many, many times. You normally have a year to address these concerns and demonstrate that you can provide your child with a safe, stable, violence, and drug-free home. We're in our second extension, and we're still doing inpatient, and we're still doing supervised visitation or overnights. We need to get this done, and we need to get it buttoned up, but it needs to be done in a way where Princeton is safe. So that's why I'm making the orders that I'm making. But remember that time is going to run out, and our absolute last final trial is going to start December the 10th at 1:30. Thank you all for your time and your service. If nothing further, all parties are excused.